All right, well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, you may want to head to the 3rd Annual Tomato Festival happening here in Ottawa. And here to talk more about it, we have Andy Terauds, who's from Acorn Creek Garden Farm. You grow tons of tomatoes. We also have Matt Bicknell from the Ottawa Farmers Market. Thanks so much for coming on the show this morning and bringing all your tomatoes. Now, you surprised me by how many different types of tomatoes there actually are. Hundreds, you say?
Yes, probably maybe even 1,000, I'm not sure.
Wow.
I've never tried to count them.
Now, you grow more than 150 different types?
Correct.
And now tomato is a fruit, it's not a vegetable.
Correct.
That's right. So maybe just talk about some of the different kinds you brought on the show this morning.
Well, there are some basic types. The ones we're used to are the beefsteak types, which have multi-cells in them.
This is your traditional field tomato, is that it?
These are all field tomatoes.
They're all field tomatoes, okay.
And the varieties have minor differences in taste and maturity. Then we also have the plum types, which is most times seen as a red. And then the cherry types, which have a smaller size to them. And some are called grape. The ones that are elongated are called grape tomatoes.
Okay.
And there's huge variation in them. As you can see, they go from red to green to black to...
And that it differs in taste as well. You were saying the yellow tend to be a bit more sweet.
They have a sweeter taste because there's less acid in them. So they taste sweeter. The acid doesn't have that influence that it has on most red tomatoes, where the acid makes it a sharp taste.
Right. Cool. Well, I'm excited to taste some of them. And Matt, you've been cooking up some things. You're part of the Ottawa Farmers Market. So what have you made for us here this morning?
I'm preparing a goat cheese panna cotta with the tomato and fennel relish.
Okay. So how do you decide what tomatoes to use when you're cooking?
I'm just using a multicolored variety, so just for the color on the plate. But other than that,
just to add a little bit of color.
Yeah.
And in terms of taste, do you find the yellow or the red work better? They kind of all work equally.
With Andy was saying with the acidity, but yeah, they do kind of blend together nicely. So.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna get to try this out.
Yeah, absolutely. So
you're making it up here this morning?
I have my cream that I've been warming on the stove, and what I have to do here is I have my goat cheese, and I have to melt that in, as well as infuse the cream with the fennel fronds.
Okay, so where did you get this recipe? Did you make this?
Actually, Tara Simpson has come up with this recipe.
So you can't take the credit, but you're making it for us this morning. That's all right.
So I'll allow this to melt in. After that, we would strain it off and pour it into a small ramekin like that.
Okay.
And we'd allow it to set in the fridge for about 2 hours.
All right, and that's the finished product?
This is the finished product. So we have some diced up, that's the fennel and tomato relish.
Okay.
Garnish that with just a vinaigrette with apple cider vinegar, olive oil.
So you're saying that it rehardens then, is that it?
It has gelatin in it, so I've added gelatin into that actual mixture, so it sets in the fridge.
Yeah. I love cheese, so this is a special treat for me this morning. So I talk about the Tomato Festival and what's happening this weekend. Tons of great cool things.
Yes, there are. And the Tomato Festival is going to include a competition for the salsas, both cooked and fresh.
Okay.
And there will be several other events taking place during the whole day, from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock at the Brewer Park Farmers Market.
And why do you guys decide to have this? This is the 3rd annual event for the Tomato Festival. Why is it important to celebrate tomatoes?
I think everybody loves tomatoes.
Yeah.
And tomatoes are a symbol of summer harvest. That everybody can partake in. Very few people have allergies to tomatoes, so it makes it easy for everybody to enjoy it. And the huge variation in taste from what you get at the supermarket makes them unique for the fresh taste they provide.
And I mean, we grow them right here in Ontario. It's not too cold. You were thankful we didn't have a frost last night, you were saying.
Absolutely.
What's kind of the lifespan and process of growing tomatoes?
Well, they start off first thing in the spring, in March or April, and then transplant into the fields in late May or June. And we're harvesting starting in August right through until hard frost.
So did we have a good year for tomatoes?
Fairly good. It wasn't quite as hot as some years. They like it hot. They're tropical fruit, so they like it hot. And when frost comes, they're gone.
And Matt, yeah, that's right. And Matt, we have a special mixology happening as well this weekend?
Yeah, Jeff Taylor is going to be making mocktails, so 3 different tomato-based drinks, and we'll be sampling actually raw varieties of the heirloom tomatoes as well. So
I'm
really
really
will be able to try all the different types.
That little cherry one you were saying. What's this one called again?
Oh, the cherry?
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that's a tomato-related ground cherry. And
I see these everywhere in the market, and I always wonder what it tastes like. Is it sweet or sour?
Sweet.
Oh, that's so good. That's delicious. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show this morning. Tomato Festival happening this Sunday from 8 till 3 at Brewer Park, so go check it out.